Federal government and World Bank interventions impact on youth and smallholder farmers. Buhari approves 4 new seaports to boost foreign investment inflows. Oil prices rise as demand improves, supplies tighten. Plus, new strategic plan for the insurance sector is the focus of discussion on the program. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Musa Abubakar. Now we begin with the federal government. The federal government and World Bank funded agriculture project is gradually contributing largely to the social and economic well-being of young and smallholder farmers. It is in the light of this success story and challenges in the implementation of the 6 years project has been documented to serve as a guide for future related projects. A platform has been created for documentation of strategy in the implementation of the World Bank agriculture states.
A lot of technologies have been identified and used and found to be effective in improving productivity of farmers. A lot of management practices have been observed that lead to success in different areas of agriculture. Now there is need to package, to curate all these achievements and experiences and make it available for farmers, practitioners, project managers, extension specialists to make use of.
Technology demonstration is also part of knowledge management, and we have demonstrated technologies that are useful to cashew farmers, which they abide by, and the yield has tremendously improved, and they are all smiling to the bank.
That one factor responsible for the impactful implementation of the social investment programs of the Buhari administration over the years is the realization that you can't reach Nigerians if you don't have a plan for the grassroots. This realization then influenced the structure design for the SIP and is all largely responsible for the successes of the program, which is now regarded as one of the biggest social welfare schemes in the continent. These are words of Vice President Yemi Shibajo in Lagos on Sunday at the inauguration of the Dashme store, an outfit of the Dashme Foundation founded by the immediate past Finance Minister Kemi Adeosun. The store is established to mobilize resources for onward distribution to vulnerable people in the society via grassroots charities. Professor Yemi Shibajo noted Kemi Adeosun's commitment to welfare programs, where as minister she prioritized the social investment programs when, for the first time, the country voted almost 500 billion naira of annual budget to welfare programs, which are called the social investment programs, which involve engaging 500,000 young men and women and also giving microcredit to about 2 million traders, and also a homegrown school feeding program for 9.5 million children daily in public schools across the country. Speaking on the establishment of Nigeria's first thrift for charity online store, Professor Yemi Shibajo said adding social enterprise to philanthropy with a structure that allows for resource mobilization for charity as well as creates the opportunity for people to earn a living in the process should be the way to go. Now, tax defaulters who plan to institute legal cases against the Federal Inland Revenue Service now have to pay 50% of the assessed amount in dispute into an interest-yielding account of the Federal High Court before the court can hear such matters. Executive Chairman FIRS Mohammed Nami disclosed this on Friday during a public hearing organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts, investigating revenue leakages arising from tax waivers and incentives to foreign companies granted pioneer status. According to him, the new rule is contained in a recent practice direction issued by the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Abuja, Justice John Dahimba Tsoho, under Order 57 Rule 3 of the Federal High Court Rules 2019. He also confirmed that the practice direction took effect from 31st May 2021. Nami revealed that the FIRS has gotten several amendments to the country's tax laws, which require companies operating in the free zones to file tax returns on their operations to the FIRS, stating that these amendments aim at checking the activities of taxpayers currently taking advantage of some gaps in tax laws and fiscal policy by establishing businesses in the nation's tax-free zones. President Muhammadu Buhari on Saturday said his administration has approved 4 new seaports to create employment opportunities and foreign investment inflows across the country. The president, who disclosed this in his national broadcast to commemorate Democracy Day, said 4 new seaports have been approved to be constructed under public-private partnership arrangements. The 4 seaports include Lekki Deep Sea Port, Bonny Deep Sea Port, Ibom Deep Sea Port, and Warri Deep Sea Port.
We have worked at deepening our eastern ports leading to success, like Heaven City Container Ship Berth at Calabar Port, a first in 11 years. Similarly, on 30th October 2019, an LPG tanker operated by NLNG berthed in Port Harcourt, the first time an LPG ship is berthing at any of the eastern ports.
Now to business of the day. Insurance turn accumulated capital into productive investments, enables mitigation of losses, financial stability, and promotes trade and commercial activities that results into sustainable economic growth and development. Plays great role in increasing GDP. The question is, has this sector lived up to expectations? With me to find answers to this and more is Ekirite Olagam Ikon, an insurance expert. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Let's look at this statistics. Only 1.9% of Nigeria's adult population had one form of insurance policy as at 2018. And with insurance penetration to GDP put at 0.3% in 2019. In addition to 2.5 million out of 11.7 million registered vehicles have genuine insurance cover in 2018. Has this thing changed since from then?
No, it hasn't. It's probably gotten worse.
Wow.
No, because you do know that, I mean, last year was tough for everyone. So some people have not renewed their insurance policies. Okay. So we haven't checked the numbers. When we check the numbers, we will know how this stands. However, with the vehicles, I think we've gotten numbers from NBS that say we have about 12 million registered vehicles. On the side of the insurance, I think we've been able to capture about maybe almost 3 million of that. But we are working. We were working to improve that.
Okay. But 2018,
yes,
till date, that's a long time, isn't it?
You know, the challenge is with the data. Have we done a lot of work on the data to come out with the numbers? I think we are not focusing so much on the data, unfortunately. So that's where I would expect us to go, by way of ensuring that we've got we're speaking with data. I mean, I like what you just did.
Okay.
So we're speaking with data. Since 2018, I don't think we've had, you know, a deliberate work at determining how many policyholders do we have.
Okay.
But I would think the number has gone down because even looking at it from the financial inclusion report, I do think the number is not up to 1.9.
Okay, at the wake of this, SARS protests, a lot of businesses have suffered losses, which insurance companies promised compensations where cover is available. Did that actually happen?
It's happening. It's happening. Some companies have received compensation from insurance. At some point, the estimated level of payout for claims was about 9.2 billion, and they started paying. Because everyone's case would not be at the same stage. So some people have completed documentation and they received payments.
Okay, but again, it's another the issue of regulation. Sometime in April, Nikon issued a public notice on cancellation of operational license of one of the insurance companies. But the question is, must company fall to their face before operating license actually withdraw?
No, it shouldn't, because the truth is that we've got very many sick companies, financially, weak companies, and unfortunately, the members of the public don't know which ones are in this state. So you are always required to check, before you can know. And the regulators know, of course, because they see the reports, and they also know because from the point of claims, we do know that some companies are unable to meet their obligations even to staff. But this is put as part of the problems of COVID-19. Some companies will tell you that they could have been out of it if not for COVID. But my concern is we are then not able to let the public know these companies and be able to, work with companies that are moving towards increasing penetration, not companies that are too weak to be able to do that.
Okay, well, how can insurance help people in this time of uncertainty and insecurity? That's
always been the role of insurance. The role of insurance has always been to be there for you when there's uncertainty. Insurance will not work when there is certainty. It's only when there is uncertainty that it will work. And so at this time, and we've seen it. I mean, COVID exposed us to what uncertainty indeed means. So when you look at it, shocks will come, but how will it meet you? So that's the sense of insurance. Insurance is to create that resilience that the economy requires, when things happen. And indeed, insurance companies have been doing this in Nigeria. It's just that on the individual side, it hasn't happened. It's been more of you and I supporting our brothers and then playing the role of insurance.
Okay, but how can it help at this time?
It can help at this time because, you don't want to be where you are now in the next 1 year and not be able to help yourself. All right, so what insurance does at every time is that, when you have insurance, it gives you a sense of, comfort. It gives you a feeling of security that if something happens now, so it's good to still buy insurance now. But people will argue that you have not even eaten, so how can you go and spend your money on insurance? But my own position is that insurance is what will keep you. It may not be food that will strike, it may not be hunger that will strike, it may be something else. It may be illness, health. So you need health insurance. It may be accident, and so you need personal accident insurance. And these things come cheap.
Okay,
they're relatively cheap.
Okay. The federal government recently paid 9.2 billion naira premium for civil servants' life insurance. Would this actually deepen the penetration of?
Let me tell you. First of all, that payment, that has been made has always been part of the insurance premiums that we generate. It's when you look at the fact that the industry posted premium of about 500 billion, last year. So what's 9 billion to 500 billion? Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Now, when you also look at how much business is government doing, of this 500 billion, I can tell you from my work that it's not up to 15% of what government is paying to the insurance industry. So a lot of insurance is still done in the private sector. A lot of businesses are doing insurance, and then when we're talking about paying claims, a lot of businesses are getting claims paid.
Okay.
You know,
how can we deepen penetration?
So we can deepen penetration by not looking at this kind of payment as a contract to insurance, you know, because when it comes from the Federal Executive Council, someone may think, oh, insurance companies have gotten some from the government. We can deepen penetration by you and I sitting down to think of the risk that we face, you know, and now looking for solution. So when you're looking for solution, and then the insurance operators are also able to provide what seems like a solution, there's a connection. So it's not for us to continue to think of insurance as people that come to ask us for money and take our money. You know, put insurance in your plan, because we're all facing the risk, financial risk, social risk, and all of that. These are things that insurance can deal with.
Okay. So how can now the public get the best out of operators, insurance operators?
By first of all, educating themselves. By however means you are going to do that, educate yourself. The truth of the matter is that we are living, you know, in a time that we can see the risk. So, I mean, COVID has happened, so we can see the risk. So educating yourself is already there. But yes, the operators have to now recognize that we are not at the time where you could say you didn't know about insurance. So you now know about insurance, but what are the, you know, operators putting in place of what you know? Not trying to sell you the old stuff, but selling you things that you are now coming from an informed position to get. So there's that challenge.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ekerete Olagabiko, insurance expert.
Thank you so much for having me.
Moving on, oil prices rose on Monday, hitting their highest levels in more than 2 years, supported by economic recovery and the prospect of fuel demand growth as vaccination campaigns in developed countries accelerate. Brent was up 45 cents at $71.36 a barrel, their highest since April 2019. U.S. West Texas Intermediate gained 53 cents to $73.22 a barrel, their highest since October 2018, indicating that the two leading crude markets are trading at almost 2.5-year highs amid a potent bullish cocktail of demand, optimism, and OPEC Plus supply cuts. Next is a trip to the commodities market. Though markets in Nigeria are closed this Monday in commemoration of Democracy Day, investors in the week ended gained 230 billion naira as stocks rise further. Bosede Ebel has details.
The equities market in Nigeria has been positive so far in the month of June, and investors expect the trend to prevail. Last week, the NGX share index had appreciated by 1.11% to close the week at 39,156.28, while the market capitalization inched up 20.4 trillion naira at a turnover of 1 billion shares worth 12.8 billion naira in 17,854 deals were traded in the week by investors on the floor of the exchange. All other indices finished higher, with the exception of NSE Insurance, NSE ASM and NSE Sovereign Bond, which depreciated by 4.12%, 2% and 1.45%, while the NSE Growth Index closed flat. The financial services industry led the activity chart with 714.6 million shares valued at 5.9 billion naira, traded in 9,718 deals. The consumer goods industry followed with 97.1 million shares worth 3.2 billion naira, while the third place was occupied by the ICT industry. The top three equities were Zenith Bank, Sterling Bank and Fidelity Bank, which jointly accounted for 261.3 million shares worth 2.7 billion naira in 2,862 deals. A total of 1,026 units of exchange traded product ETPs valued at 160,140 naira 75 kobo were traded in the week in 8 deals, as well as 5,335 units of federal government bonds valued at 5.3 million naira in 10 deals. Summary of price changes saw that 35 equities appreciated in price during the week, 36 equities depreciated in price, while 89 equities remained unchanged. Bossade Able, Business Express.
Now, European markets fractionally higher as Fed meeting looms. Team Vera up 8% on SAP partnership. And Ekaoko has more on the global market.
Global stocks held record highs on Monday as investors look ahead to the June meeting of the U.S. Federal Reserve. In Asia, stocks were mixed in Monday trade, with markets in Australia, China and Hong Kong closed for holidays. However, the Nikkei 225 in Japan rose 0.74% to close at 29,161.80. European stocks, on the other hand, advanced higher to start the week. CAC 40 of France gained 0.31%, London's FTSE 0.35% to end at 7,160.28, and Germany's DAX 0.17%. In the U.S., S&P futures were steady in early trade as investors digested the S&P 500's record level. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 15 points, while Nasdaq 100 was the relative standout performer, gaining 0.25%. Meanwhile, in Africa, analysts are afraid the inflation figures are likely to affect investor sentiment. This morning, markets are showing mixed trading in early deals, with South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40 leading gains with a 0.46% gain. Ghana's JSE Composite Index also pointed northwards, while other indices on the continent were in the red. That's Global Markets. I'm Nekaoku.
Naira is steady against the dollar as banks confirm forex availability. Let's see how the Naira is faring against other international currencies. Well, Business Express returns on Tuesday at 9:30. Thank you for watching.